Okay, so lower back pain. I feel like everyone I know has dealt with that at some point, right? That deep ache that just won't quit.
Oh, absolutely. It's one of the most common reasons people seek help, whether it's conventional medicine or increasingly alternative therapies.
And today, we're going deep into one of those alternative therapies, traditional Chinese medicine, or TCM. We're going to explore how TCM views lower back pain, particularly how it relates to, get this, our kidneys.
Yeah, when most people think kidneys, they think about filtering blood, maybe.
Hmm.
But in TCM, the kidneys are seen as so much more than just that.
Okay, so how do they view the kidneys in TCM? What's the big deal?
Well, in TCM, the kidneys are seen as this kind of reservoir of essential energy. They call it essence or Jing. And it's considered the foundation of our vitality, our resilience, even how we age.
So, like a savings account for our life force.
Exactly. And when that essence is depleted, it can manifest in a whole bunch of ways, including that deep, nagging lower back pain we were just talking about.
So you're saying that ache I get, the one that makes me feel like I suddenly aged 30 years overnight, that could be my kidneys saying, hey, our essence fund is running low.
It's entirely possible. Western medicine might point to a slip disc or muscle strain, but TCM looks deeper, to the root cause.
And what are some of those root causes?
Well, in the source material we're diving into today, they talk about three main types of kidney deficiency.
Three types. Okay, I'm listening. Tell me about these different types of kidney deficiency.
So first you have kidney key deficiency. This is where you feel that classic lower back pain, but it comes with a lot of fatigue, just a general lack of energy.
Yeah, I've definitely felt that. What about the other types?
The second type is kidney yang deficiency. This one's interesting because on top of the ache, you're also always cold, maybe needing to pee more often. It's like your internal furnace can't quite get going.
So it's not just about the pain itself, but the other symptoms that come with it.
Exactly. And then the third type is kidney yin deficiency. This one is more of a dull ache, but it often comes with night sweats, dry throat, even feeling kind of irritable.
Wow, I never would have thought to connect those things to my kidneys.
It's amazing, right?
Oh,
And it really highlights how interconnected everything is in TCM.
it really does. It's like our bodies are this complex web, and you can't just address one part without considering the whole thing.
Exactly. And it's not just about deficiency either. The source also mentions something called stagnation of qi and blood as another potential cause of sharper, more sudden lower back pain.
Stagnation of qi and blood, so like a blockage.
Think of it like a traffic jam, but instead of cars, it's your body's energy flow that's jammed up.
Okay, so we're talking about two main things here. Different types of kidney deficiency, this idea of energy flow getting blocked.
You got it. And understanding these different aspects is key to finding the right approach to relief.
Okay, so that's the why behind this type of lower back pain. But now let's get to the good stuff, the how. How do we actually find relief?
Well, the source material we're looking at today points to acupressure as a really powerful tool for addressing renal pain.
Acupressure, okay. I'll be honest, I've always been a little intimidated by acupressure. Like, how do you even know where to press? There are so many points on those charts. It's overwhelming.
Right. It can definitely feel that way.
Yeah.
But that's where the beauty of TCM comes in. It's not just about randomly pressing on points. It's about understanding the meridians,
Meridians, those are like
the energy channels that run through the
yeah,
body.
exactly, the energy channels. And acupressure points, they're kind of like access points along those channels, right?
Yeah, you. So each point is strategically located along a meridian, and by applying pressure, you're essentially sending a signal along that channel, helping to clear blockages, restore balance, that kind of thing.
Okay, that makes a lot more sense. So, where do we even begin with acupressure for renal pain specifically? I mean, are we talking about points on the lower back? Or
Well, some points are on the lower back, but others might surprise you. It's all about those meridians, remember, and how they connect seemingly distant parts of the body.
okay, you've got me intrigued. Walk me through it. What are some of the key acupressure points the source highlights?
All right, so the first point I want to mention might seem a little counterintuitive, but it's BL62, also known as Shenmai.
Shenmai, okay. And where is that one located?
It's actually located just below your outer ankle bone.
My ankle. But we're talking about back pain.
I know, it seems strange. But remember, those meridians connect everything. And this point, even though it's seemingly miles away from your lower back, it sits on a meridian that directly influences the kidneys. It's particularly helpful for regulating fluid balance in the body.
Wow, so a point on my ankle can impact my lower back. That's wild. It really highlights how differently this approaches from, say, just getting a massage on your lower back. We're talking about addressing the whole system, not just the site of pain.
Exactly. It's a totally different way of thinking about pain relief.
Okay, so that's BL62. What else? What other acupressure points does the source mention?
Another good one is GB34, also known as Yanglingquan. And this one is located just below the knee on the outer side of your leg. Have you ever had any pain or tightness in that area?
Now that you mention it, yeah, sometimes.
It's a common spot for tension, and this point is especially helpful if your lower back pain is connected to imbalances in other areas, particularly the liver and gallbladder.
See, this is what I love about TCM. It's all connected. But okay, let's get back to the back. Surely there are some points located in the actual area that's hurting, right?
Absolutely. There are a couple key points near the lower back that the source mentions. There's BL26, also known as Guanyuan Shu, and BL27, or Shaoshang Shu. Both of these points are located in the lumbar region, and they directly target the muscles and energy flow in that area.
Okay, so we've got points on the lower back itself, plus points on the ankle, the leg. It's like a whole body approach.
Exactly. And you mentioned earlier feeling a little intimidated by all the acupressure points. And I think it's important to remember that you don't need to memorize all of them. Even focusing on a few key points, like the ones we were discussing today, can make a real difference.
That's reassuring. I don't need to become an acupressure master overnight.
Exactly. Start small, experiment, see what works for you.
I like that. So, any other acupressure pit stops on our pain relief road trip today?
One more I want to mention is BL40, or Visong. This one is located right in the crease at the back of your knee. And it's especially helpful if your lower back pain tends to radiate down your legs, which is a pretty common complaint.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, sometimes that pain runs all the way down my hamstrings. I always just figured my muscles were tight.
It's possible, but
Yeah.
it could also be related to those meridians and the energy flow in that area.
This is giving me so much to think about. I'm looking at my body in a whole new way. It's like I'm finally understanding the connections I've always felt but never really knew how to address.
That's what's so exciting about TCM. It gives you this new lens through which to view your health and well-being.
It really does. And it sounds like acupressure is a powerful tool to actually do something about those aches and pains. It's one thing to address the pain itself, but what's really interesting to me is how these acupressure points seem to go beyond that. Like I'm seeing in the source material that they can actually help with a whole bunch of other issues too.
Oh, absolutely. It goes back to what we were talking about earlier about the kidneys being this reservoir of essential energy in TCM.
Right, that essence or jing.
Exactly. So when you support your kidneys, you're essentially replenishing that reservoir, and the effects can be felt throughout your whole system.
It's like a ripple effect. So glad we took this deep dive today. I feel like I have a whole new understanding of my body and some actual tools I can use to feel better.
Me too. It makes you wonder how many other seemingly unrelated health issues might actually be connected to our kidneys. How much of our modern day suffering could be eased by tapping into this ancient wisdom?
It's a really good question. And on that note, if you're dealing with lower back pain, especially that deep nagging kind, don't just ignore it. Explore TCM, look into acupressure. You might just discover the key to unlocking lasting relief and maybe even address a few other things along the way. Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.